Yeah, we're actually switching colour here on Total Football. Time to focus on Green Football Weekend. It runs until Sunday. It's the competition where fans score goals for their own team by turning down their thermostat, hanging out their clothes, and those top-scoring teams could be in to win a trophy. This one here, the Green Football Cup. And it's all about having a bit of fun with this. Gamifying positive climate action. Lots of supporters are getting involved, and so are our next guests. It's a very warm welcome to Amy Turner, who is at Spurs, and Micahel Doughty, formerly of QPR, Peterborough and Swindon. Great to see you both. Amy, to you first, because you are an official ambassador, spokesperson for Green Football Weekend. So why are you so passionate about climate and sustainability?
Yeah, I think nature and the environment is always something I've been quite passionate about. I was fortunate enough to grow up in quite a rural area, back up in Sheffield, so I had loads of access to green space, and yeah, I spent a lot of time outdoors as a kid, and yeah, so I've always had that passion for nature in that respect. And I think probably more recently I've been taking sustainability a bit more seriously, and yeah, started reading books and listening to podcasts and things, and learning a bit more about climate change and the importance of making more sustainable, conscious choices, really, and trying to use my voice to spread that to other people.
Yeah, spread that message.
Yeah.
What about you, Micahel? Is it something that you've always been into and thought about, or did it come to you a bit later in life? How was it for you?
I think like most people, it's sort of an incremental journey. For me, I've always been, just through football, passionate about the outdoors. I think a lot of the time we forget as people in football that we play outside every day, and there's a relationship with nature through that. And I think as I started to learn more and more, you know, through stuff like David Attenborough, you know, 10 years ago, and started to get inspired about the natural world, I became just more conscious, I guess, of my decisions as a player at the time, and now as a retired player.
Yeah. And I'm sure that you're supportive of these kind of things at Green Football Weekend, because we want to try and raise more awareness. And if you haven't seen this, and quite frankly, where have you been? But it is on a competition that peaks this weekend. It's supported by Sky Zero, and it encourages football fans to represent their teams and score goals by doing planet-protecting activities. So basically, the more goals you score, the more you go up the league table, and the top team at the end of Sunday wins the Green Football Cup. It's right here on set, and in fact it was carved quite literally by Amy Turner's fair hands, and this is you in action. This is really cool. I love this. You enjoy doing that?
I'm not sure I can take much credit for the
I think you can take all the credit in the world for this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a kind of very unique trophy, isn't it? And it would have to be for this cause, right?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I was so nervous. It was almost finished. I just added a bit of the gold leaf around the side.
I thought you were joking, actually. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. And so this is the thing, so you go, actually, now this is where I started to freestyle. I was getting really confident. I was like, yeah, let's dab some gold leaf on the side. It's fantastic.
So
and here it is, and it's great to have it here in the studio with us. OK, so who's going to be winning this? That's the big question. Let's have a look at how it stands right now on Friday ahead of Sunday. Well, there's one team who are head and shoulders above everyone else. It's Manchester United. So they might actually be on for 5 trophies this season, not just 4. Leicester are through 8,000 points. Leeds United almost 7,000 points. Chelsea trying to give a bit of chase, but might they get caught by Port Vale from League One? And one of the reasons why they're doing this, I referred to this yesterday, one of the reasons they're doing so well is because they've got one of their players, Funso Ojo, who's a midfielder for Port Vale, who himself is taking on a lot of these activities. He's driving this, and he's telling his fan base, his audience about it. I mean, Micahel, these are the top 5, but there are more than 80 teams here. I mean, how encouraging is it that the football industry in the UK has come together for this moment of awareness in the name of climate?
Yeah, I think it's paramount. You know, the product of football is reliant on a healthy environment. You know, we've seen kind of games played in extreme heat, and the quality of those games just not being the same. So for us to kind of have a positive awareness week, have a conversation happening across the clubs through fan activations, through player activations is really important. But there is obviously a lot more that we need to do in order to you know, meet the climate agenda and try and get on the right side of it.
It's interesting you use that word product, because I think when people realise what is at stake and the money that is affected, that's when actually decisions start being made, right? They go, oh, hang on a minute, I might end up losing out in this way. But also, just thinking about this, I mean, I don't want to put all of the pressure on Amy and Micahel, but athletes have a great platform that they can really maximise. Do you sense that more are starting to come to the plate and represent for this? And if not, Amy, what are the barriers to them doing so?
Yeah, I think, you know, as an athlete, we have a voice as such, and you know that's what I tried to do a few years ago. I tried to use my voice for positive change, and like you say, I think more athletes are following suit in that, because you know we're in this unique position where, you know, often when we speak, people listen, which is quite nice. So I think we have that responsibility to highlight issues, especially around climate change, and yeah, there could be some barriers to it. I think, you know, I felt those barriers when I started on this journey, that, you know, I didn't feel like an expert by any means. I didn't feel like, you know, I was a perfectionist, and that scared me. You know, am I preaching something that I'm not doing 100% of the time?
It's a hypocrisy, basically, that might be levelled at you.
Yeah, something like that. And I think maybe that could hold players back from speaking out about it. But I think we all have a choice. Either, you know, we can do something and we can, you know, try, or we can just do nothing and carry on doing things how we've always done them. And I definitely think it's time to start acting on things.
Yeah, well, hopefully, you know, the actions of you two will just have that ripple effect, and others will just be encouraged. So it's not just me on this, other people can help me out with it. We broke yesterday on Sky Sports News, David Wheeler, the Wycombe Wanderers midfielder, is the first sustainability champion of the PFA. So they're taking a step, and also Swindon Town are taking a step, Micahel. Breaking story this week as far as you're concerned. You've been appointed Chief Sustainability Officer. That is a grand title. How did that come about?
Yeah, actually, my wife thought I made up the title. It was a conversation between myself and the club. It actually started with them talking about a brand partnership, and I felt that I wanted to get back into football and be involved in some of the strategy and the change making at a club that I still cared about, and use, I guess, a unique position that I have of sort of still having a relevance with the fans and a platform to kind of speak to them. And I think coming to Amy's point around sort of athlete power, making climate emotional in a way which is kind of resonates for fans in a positive way is, I think, kind of the best approach. You know, sometimes it can be seen as like a binary force, whether you're either sustainable or not, and the reality is that's a bit of a nonsense. And having sort of the athlete who can sort of bridge that gap between on-field kind of love and enjoyment of the product of football and that sort of fan engagement, I think is probably the kind of one of the missing links that we're starting to see come through, and hopefully many more athletes are going to step up and start to talk about these issues.
I chime with you on so many of those things, Micahel. The whole binary thing really bothers me. You know, why do you have to be either fully vegan or basically a carnivore? You know, you can be somewhere in between, right? You can be sort of like 70% vegan one week, or 85% plant-based, or maybe a bit less because you go to a mate's barbecue. And actually it's that kind of incremental growth. And as you say, the connection, it's making people care about it, right? You know, one of the mantras of Sky Zero last summer was, let's look after what we love, talking about sporting events that might be at threat, or our athletes whose health might be at threat if we don't do something about it. So what have Swindon fans told you? What would they like to happen?
Well, it was interesting because I put up a post on my social media being like, you know, I'd love to hear some of the thoughts from the fans, and I just got inundated with, you know, so many messages around kind of ideas that they wanted to implement at the club. You know, reusable cups at games, renewable energy charging points, car sharing, kind of energy savings. I mean, the list was pretty broad. Bicycle racks for fans to cycle to games. And I think what's exciting is like having that engagement and making it seem like a value add to people's lives is really important. I think trying to come in and be like, you know, you're doing it wrong, this is a better way, is not the way to like engage. And seeing that the fans are already, you know, wanting some of these issues resolved, not only because it's going to provide a positive impact in terms of climate, but also because it's just going to make their experience better, was like really exciting. Because it's like, I think you don't have to lose one aspect of the experience just to be more sustainable. You can actually enhance the experience.
And it's nice that, you know, the appetite is there, that people do care about these things. They're just looking to tell someone. You know, now they've got a central point, they've got you, so hopefully you'll have plenty more DMs about, you know, climate sustainability. Amy, do you sense that people talk about this? You know, do players talk about this in the dressing room? You know, fans talk about this at all?
Yeah, definitely. I think things are changing. You know, I started on this journey about 4 or 5 years ago at United, and I started bringing up these conversations in the dressing room, and you know, it was well received. I think, I don't know, it was sort of a little bit outside, out of mind, and people didn't really think about it until you think about it. So until we started talking about it and having discussions, we were like, yeah, why are we using so much plastic water bottles? Are there alternatives? You know, the single-use plastic aspect and other aspects, we started to think about things differently, and I think there has been a change, and I think it'll only continue to grow.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think some people, you know, are maybe a bit scared to talk about it, and also, you know, talking about the vegan thing. Recently, you'll have seen Forest Green Rovers appointed Duncan Ferguson as their new manager, and he was asked if he'd ever eaten vegan. He's like, no, I don't think I have. And then Dale Vince says, well, chips are vegan. He goes, oh, are they? and people just don't think about it. It's not because they're ignorant or stupid. It's just because they don't think about it. So the hashtag chips for vegan then started trending on Twitter, as you would imagine it would. Lots of chatter about that. There's a big focus on energy, using less of it, maybe turn the thermostat down, putting on an extra layer. And inspired by that, one of the things that you did recently, Amy, was the Layer Up Challenge. Basically, put on as many T-shirts or layers as you can in 30 seconds. Let's have a look at how Amy got on.
It's time to layer up. Let's go.
OK, so we asked David Wheeler to do this. He got 6. Joe Jacobson at Wickham got 7. You got
5. Yeah, it was windy outside though, and bibs
exactly.
Were like,
you know,
blame the equipment.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all the best people get 5. I got 5. Got got stuck with the last one trying to get 6. OK, now listen, Michael, only fair that we ask you to do the same thing. OK, so 30 seconds, as many T-shirts as you can manage. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. That's 1.
God, this is incredibly hard.
It's hard, isn't it?
That's 2. I'm wondering if you're going to equal Amy at this point. That's not even 3 yet.
Are we timing?
Yes, we are. 10 seconds. Come on, Michael. Come on. 4,
This looks small.
3, 2, 1. No, that just. Oh, that was so close. That was so close. Sadly, we don't have an action replay. We can't go to VAR for this one. Do you know what, though? I'm going to be harsh because I'm that kind of harsh Simon Cowell type judge. That one isn't counting for me, just 4. But well done for being a good sport, Michael. Get a bit sweaty live on Sky Sports News. Oh, wow, and your hair's gone even more crazy as a result. But listen, it's been really, really good. Thank you. Listen, guys, a really engaging chat. Thank you for supporting these causes and for continuing to do the amazing work that you do. And coming again soon, Amy Turner and Michael Doughty. Thank you very much indeed. The first match of Green Football Weekend is at Stamford Bridge as Chelsea take on Fulham at 7 p.m. tonight. Make sure you stick around for that, and there's plenty more across the weekend live on Sky Sports News.